Hi, this is Mark Oelze with the Tune Up Tuesday video, but this is going to be a little bit different. I'm actually calling it like a day in the life of Mark Oelze. Actually, the last 24 hours, where there have been basically two conflicts with Mark and his wife, Zarin. I want to share with you just a little bit about them. So this will be a little bit longer than other 3 to 5 minute tune-up videos, but hang with me. I think it'll be worth it. So first of all, I want to say, when I talk about conflict, I don't mean like fighting, screaming, yelling, arguing. I'm not talking about that kind of thing. My wife and I rarely do that together, but we have like what somebody might say is like small skirmishes. And my thought is, if we don't deal with the small skirmishes, we'll end up having the big fights. I'd rather deal with the small skirmishes. So that's the kind of thing I'm going to be talking about today. So 24 hours ago, we were sitting right over here on the couch, and my wife was right next to me, and I was feeling a little bit frustrated about a conversation that we had recently with some other folks. And it revolved around, and she and I began talking about this, it revolved around an idea that when we're with some people, sometimes we both have things we want to share. Maybe I'm excited about sharing something. Maybe she's excited about sharing something. And sometimes I feel like when we have the microphone and we get to talk, and we're sharing some things, sometimes I feel like she shares the things that I wanted to share about, that I was excited about sharing about. So I'm looking over here, pretending like she's over there. So this particular day, again, 18 hours ago, I shared with her because we had a moment of sharing with some other folks, and she shared what I was excited about sharing about. So that was kind of a little bit of frustrating, and kind of because I feel like that's happened a lot. So it was kind of just something simmering inside of me for a while that I'd put off and forbeared with, put up with, didn't, thought it's kind of a minor kind of a deal. But as it happened again and again, I found myself being more irritated, which is sometimes a way of knowing whether or not you should bring something up that's on the smaller skirmish side. So anyways, I did bring it up. And we had a really interesting conversation, good conversation, and she heard me well. She listened well. She echoed back. She drew me out. And she, at the end of the time, said, wow, I can really see that. I can appreciate that. There are times when you want to share things, and I want to be more aware and more sensitive to that. And so she said she was going to work on that. I thought, well, that's way cool. Thanks, hon. That really totally blesses me. And that kind of took care of that skirmish. Then, after that, we were in another place, in our kitchen. And I was sitting over here. Oh, no, it started over here. I just remembered. It was like, I was like looking through the kitchen here. This was yesterday morning, because she had gotten up early, and she was baking some banana bread. We had these dead bananas we had to use up. And so she was making some banana bread. And I was like, that was way cool. I was really appreciative of getting up early. I wanted to make some banana bread for us so that we could have ourselves and with a friend that we had hosted for lunch yesterday. But as I was watching her make that banana bread, I noticed she had the regular unbleached white flour out. And I was thinking, oh, I wish I would have used the almond flour, because trying to just be healthier, and I'm trying to use the almond flour whenever we bake things. And so I said, hon, could we instead use the almond flour rather than the unbleached regular white flour? And she was like rolling her eyes back and forth a little bit. And I explained to her why I wanted to do it and so forth. And all of a sudden, it's like we both got a little bit more tense, and there was more tension in the air, a little more frustration. And we were kind of right there in the midst of another skirmish. And she turned around at me and said, Mark, here's the deal. I know that you want to do the almond flour, and you sometimes want to eat healthy and other times you don't. And I never know quite when you want to be healthy or not, which I was understanding and being careful not to roll my eyes because I could appreciate what she was saying. And I didn't want to roll my eyes and make this thing worse. So she said, so today, this morning, I just got up and I thought I would just do this. I got a recipe out for the regular flour, and I'm already kind of halfway through it. And I think I'd really rather just use the regular flour for the banana bread today. And I got quiet. And I did some of that, head bobbing. And I said, well, that makes sense too. I can appreciate you're halfway through the recipe, and there's the question in your mind whether or not I want to eat healthy this week or with this or with that, and I can appreciate how that can be frustrating to you, and you're kind of in this mindset, in the gear of just doing it this way, and that makes sense. I can appreciate that. So, sure, go ahead. Why don't you just use that flour and we'll be fine. No problem. And she did. By that time, I forgot I was over here sitting in the kitchen looking at what she was doing and just appreciating her perspective on the matter and deciding to just go with it and be okay with it. So, two different conflicts, minor on the one hand, except on the other hand, had we not dealt with them, they probably would have gotten bigger or could have gotten bigger. And my concern is that I think probably all of us, we have tense moments between us or frustrating moments between us. And I think all too often we don't talk about them because we don't know how. And I want to suggest if you learn pledge well and even talk well, you can talk through situations just like this with my wife and I, and get back to a place of being good together and experiencing connection once again. So, yeah, that's my tune-up Tuesday video. I would encourage you to work at addressing even the small issues in a kind, respectful, loving way, using PLEDGEtalk, and get that connection back up again between you so that you're not down long and you're up and running well again quickly, more often than not if you're dealing with things on a regular basis and doing it well. All right, Mark Oelze here with PLEDGEtalk. Bye for now. Bye-bye.